Good evening, ladies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this iconic Sharjah cricket stadium. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this iconic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this iconic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this iconic Sharjah cricket stadium. Match number 20. It's going to be Carwan CC. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this iconic Sharjah cricket.
2024. It's a big battle between two big names here in the domestic circuit. Karwan Cricket Club taking on CSS Group. Now this is going to be an exciting battle of the group, and to see who prevails on top of the table. We'll quickly head sidelines where we have Adnan Arif out there with the two captains for the toss.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this iconic Sharjah Cricket Stadium. Match number 20. It's going to be Carwan CC taking on CSS Group. Let me introduce you to the three most important men of the match. Starting from my right, it's the captain of Carwan CC, Babar Iqbal, followed by Mr. Tehseen Javed, the match referee. Last but not the least, it's the captain of CSS Group, Rojit. Home team, Carwan CC will flip the coin. Heads is the call. Heads it is. CSS. Rojit, you've won the toss. What have you decided?
We're gonna bowl first.
Right. Any particular reason behind bowling first?
Nothing much. Wicket is good. Little bit slowness in first innings. After that, maybe dewness is coming. It's easy to bat. That's
Right. Any changes to your playing 11 from the last game?
yeah. One left spinner is included, Adul Ravindran, and Abram is out, and one all-rounder is included, Rabin Krishna.
Right. What do you think would be a good score to defend?
Maybe 130, 135 is good.
Right.
Score.
Good luck and give us a good game. Right, Babar, you've lost the toss. What were you looking to do?
I'm really lucky to, got batting first because we wanted to bat first. And the main reason to bat first is to check our new combination today.
Right. Tell me what would be a good total on this surface?
Numbers are difficult to predict here, but anyways, we'll try to give at least around 170, 165 and defend the total.
Right. You've already mentioned a few changes. Tell me the names.
Hamid Khan is in, Lukman Faisal is out, Khozema is out, and there's newcomers in our team. So I hope he'll perform well today.
Right. Good luck and give us a good game. Right then, that's the news from the toss. It's CSS Group who won the toss and decided to bowl first.
The talented left-arm spinner, all-rounder in the form of Awais Ali Shah, a very hard-hitting left-handed batter. Moazzam Hayat, as we speak of left-handers, he's one of those prolific left-handers in the side of Karwan Cricket Club. Zahid Ali, Rohan Mustafa, of course, the talented former UAE skipper. Ali Khan, again, the talented Ali Khan. We've known him for his hard-hitting abilities. Hamidullah, again, no introductions required for him. Aftab Alam is another rising star within this Karwan side. We have Sayan Khan as well, a new name into the team. And talking about CSS Group, we have the skipper Rojit Ganesh, Vishnu Raj, Nipun Babu, Albin Elias. Yes, one of those talented batters coming in, hailing in from the state of Kerala. Zoeb Khan, we know how demonstrating left-handed batter he is. Ranjit Mani, of course, one of those we've known for years in the domestic circuit. Atul Ravindran, Mohammad Umar, Srinath Korakat. We have Rabin Krishna Madot and Yasir Ahmed. Will be a very interesting battle, both equally poised out. And to talk more about this game, this battle, I've been joined in by Samir. Samir, welcome back to the Combox.
Thank you, Asim. Certainly one game that we look forward to here. CSS Group have had some success in the recent past here at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium, but they're up against a very reputed Carwan CC, some very big names in there. We've got the likes of Rohan Mustafa with international experience, and some of those names, Hamid Khan, an absolute belter of the ball. Moazzam Hayat obviously will probably be behind the stumps, and Furqan Khalil as well, who might just take up the wicket-keeping duties. So two teams that I wouldn't say equally matched, but at the same time, two teams that play with a lot of passion. CSS Group have some very talented cricketers in them. I'm looking forward to see how Zoeb Khan goes about today. And of course, with Karwan batting first, we will see some fireworks at the top with Rohan Mustafa probably opening alongside Hamid Khan and trying to get a big start here at this Sharjah Stadium. We saw 175 being defended in that first game. Well, it'd be interesting to see how Karwan have sized up the pitch. I'm sure they would have had a closer look and what will be on their minds in terms of a good total for their bowlers to come out. And even Zahid Ali has been in good bowling form of late, has been picking up wickets regularly, so a good contest on the cards, that's for sure.
Well, absolutely. And talking about the balance between both the sides, one of those key elements that CSS have stood up is their entire coordination. But let's quickly look out at the most wickets that have been taken here. It's Zain Hassan leading the charge with 7 wickets in 2 games. Amar Badami, 6 wickets in 3 games. Wajahat Rasool, 6 in 3. And Nabil Babar, Zahid Ali, Umar Abbas, Tayyib Bilal, Shoaib Khatak, all sitting with 5 apiece in the respective games that have played. Zishan Nasir definitely has 4, but he has a lot more to offer to this chart.
Yeah, 7 District will be proud of this chart. I've got quite a few names of theirs. There's Zain, Amar, Nabil, and Zishan, all of them, both in the senior and the junior side. So they've done well with the ball in hand, that's for sure. Amar Badami, we all know his heroics for UAE under 19, one of those stars to come out of that tournament. So it's good to see him also now extending that performance into the domestic circuit, and what better place than this Sharjah Cricket Stadium to do it. Now that's the name, Mustafa, man with a lot of reputation, a lot of class, a lot of experience behind him. And he'll be looking forward to get his team off to a good start, as he's always done for every team that he's played over the years here in UAE.
Well, different roles for him, and just playing as a professional all-rounder, doesn't have the leadership role here. So that's definitely going to be an easy outing there for Rohan Mustafa. That pressure of not leading the side is definitely taken away from him. So that's something which he would take it to his advantage and come out to express himself pretty nicely. And talking about Hamidullah, wow, he doesn't require any introduction. Those who have seen him, they know a thing or two about how demolishing he is as far as his batting is concerned.
Yeah, quite a few adjectives to describe him: demolishing, destructive, aggressive, dangerous. We'll run out of words describing his shots, but he will be obviously challenged on a wicket that has been on the slowish side from that first game that we saw. It'll be Yasir Ahmed opening the bowling, and if he has had a look at that first game, he'll know that it's not pace or movement that's going to buy him wickets. It has to be variations, being disciplined in that line, especially when he's up against 2 quality batters. CSS Group do have their work cut out.
Well, again, as we spoke about the right balance coming through between the 2 sides, one of those elements, and the positive aspect of CSS is that they've played as a unit, and they've gelled in pretty nicely as a unit. So they might not have big names, but they have people with big heart and crisp, clear intentions. Here we go. Starts off with a wide, and down the leg side, runs on board, immediately on offer.
Well, the plague has caught on from the first match. The first ball of the first game also was a wide down the leg side. This time Yasir Ahmed, the tall right-hander, right-armer, starts off with a huge wide down the leg side. Look how far the keeper is on the offside. There was no chance he was going to cut that off. The first runs on the board for Carwan CC will be courtesy 5 extras.
Well, they'll take that. They'll take that. And God forbid, if they are falling short of any sort of overs towards the fag end or any sort of penalty coming in their way, that's already covered.
Once again struggling with his line there, Yasir Ahmed. Another one down the leg side. Umpire Mujahid Amin has been kept busy very early on in the game. Mujahid Raza, beg your pardon.
Well, always confused with those 2 Mujahids around in the domestic circuit. One with the official's duty, that's Mujahid Raza, and Mujahid Amin, the prolific left-arm spinner. It has been dawning in the longer format of the game over the years in the UAE. Well, we'll talk more about him when he features for Pacific Star Sports. Now it's about Karwan Cricket Club and CSS Group.
Looking to cut that away, Azizullah, Hamid Khan. Yasir has finally bowled a legal delivery, and it's already 7 runs on the board. He's much more comfortable, obviously, bowling to the right-hander. Couldn't really find his radar against Rohan Mustafa, who was opening the batting, taking strike first up. It's never easy for a bowler, Asim, to bowl to a combination of left-hand, right-hand batters, especially with the new ball in hand.
Hamid Khan starts, and the music is loud and clear, very crisp. Hamid strikes and strikes big towards the bigger boundary.
Well, this is like offering candy to a toddler. With outside off, with a bit of bounce as well. He's done that effortlessly, standing where he was and hit crisply over that extra cover boundary to open his innings with a maximum.
You let him free his arms. He's not going to pay any sort of mercy at that sort of a width. He's definitely going to go big, going to go harsh, and going to go merciless. A nice delivery that came in towards the right-hander and then moved away. It almost squared him up there. He tried to make some room. What a beautiful delivery coming in here. And that was the 6. Obviously, was hit out of the middle of the bat. Not easy playing towards that big boundary.
He's sticking on that back of a length. Hamid Khan, as he always does, looking to clear that front leg and make room for himself to go through the offside. He looks good as a bowler. He's got all the stocks that are needed in terms of a fast bowler. He's got the height. He's got a decent action running through, good rhythm. Bends his back, finds movement. Just needs to be disciplined with his lines now that cover fielder has been pushed to the boundary line on the offside.
Well, that's straight to that fielder, and he makes no mistake. What an excellent change in the field. This is what we say, bowling to your field. He kept peppering Hamid Khan to play that shot. It was a big boundary, as we said earlier. You had to hit with tremendous power. On that occasion, he timed it beautifully, but doesn't have enough power behind that shot.
This is what CSS Group are known for. They don't have the big names, but they've got very good heads on their shoulders. That was very well planned and very well executed. The young Yasir comes back strongly with the wicket of a very big name. Hamidullah goes for 6 after having hit that one beyond the boundary line. The first wicket falls for Carwan CC, 13 for 1.
Number 3 is talented former CSS Stallions superstar Ali Khan. What a delivery. Brilliant. Hitting it at the right area. Slightly moving away, and he had absolutely no clue of that one. 13 for 1 after 1. Will share the new ball attack from the Bukata range with Yasir. He'll be bowling up against Rohan Mustafa. Oh, that nicely shaped, moving away from the left-hander and nicely dealt with again by Rohan.
Yeah, both these bowlers seem to have done their homework in terms of the length that they need to be on. Not offering anything full. Yasir, we saw in the previous over, was going back of length and trying to bend his back. Omar, with this first ball, has given us an indication of what he's going to do on this track, and I think it's the right way to go. Batters like Rohan Mustafa thrive on those full deliveries. This was the last ball of the last over. Very nicely bowled. That's the kind of ball you want to deliver to a batter who has just walked in.
Oh, brilliant delivery. Again, hitting it at that channel makes him uncomfortable. And any bowler hitting that channel against Rohan Mustafa, well, you are posing a lot of questions against him. He doesn't find it in that comfort zone of his.
Here's another look that was well directed as well. Got him on the chin, I think. Got a bit of bounce on that one. Both of them have found some bounce here, which is encouraging, obviously, for the faster bowlers. I'm sure Zahid Ali will be looking at it and smiling. They don't have Hazrat Luqman today, but this is good to see.
Quite busy with his UAE duties there, Hazrat Luqman. Recent inclusion. That's down the leg side. Not the best of the takes, but he'll take that. Extras added to the tally here. First runs conceded there by Mohammad Umar. Again, looks promising. Likes to hit the deck hard, and I think that's the way to go about it. And when he spoke about Zahid, yes, he might be licking his lips, but he's not someone who hits the deck hard. He's someone who comes in and releases the ball in the right areas, trying to bowl a lot fuller. I'm not sure whether that is something which is going to entice him.
Yeah, he does rely on the swing quite a bit. That's how he picks up a lot of his wickets. You are 100% correct there. Again, that bounce, that extra carry that these two bowlers are finding has really made life difficult for the batters out there. Rohan Mustafa has faced now, 3 deliveries. It looked very, very awkward in the way he's gone about things. And this is good to see a young bowler challenging someone as experienced as Rohan Mustafa.
One of the reasons maybe is that Rohan hasn't seen a lot of Umar, and that's one of the reasons why he has not looked so comfortable in charging him down the track and playing those aggressive shots that he loves playing, slashing it over point, or perhaps playing it towards the mid-wicket as well.
This has gone high. Mid-off, it is interested. Zohaib is perched down there and he takes a simple catch. So reward for persistent line and length from Mohammad Umar. Rohan Mustafa's frustration comes to an end.
Well, hitting at the right channels, playing it a fraction too early, in my opinion, trying to slap that over mid-off. But it was Zohaib who came underneath that and made no mistakes. Second casualty, and Karwan has definitely been pushed onto the back foot there. A duck for Rohan Mustafa, a rare one, but that's what it is. 14 for 2 Karwan. Nicely dealt with, and this is what happens when you're technically sound. You watch the ball right till the end and play it to the merit.
Yeah, brilliant cricket all around. I think Umar not being afraid to pitch it up to the new batter despite him going short in the previous 4 deliveries. Tells you that he's a thinking cricketer. He's looking for that angle back into the left-hander, which is his natural angle as a right-handed batter, right-handed bowler, beg your pardon. But a good start, isn't it, this for CSS, having chosen to bowl first. They've taken supremacy in the first couple of overs with those 2 quick wickets and 2 big wickets, mind you. Hamidullah Khan and, of course, Rohan Mustafa, both of them known for their aggression early on.
Well, certainly now it's very important for these two to stitch in a partnership. They are known for taking their own sweet times. They are not aggressors. Well, we speak about that, and immediately a top edge that flies for a boundary. He'll take that, and that would definitely add to the confidence.
A first rail error in line from Umar, too far outside off, and he's thrown everything at it. Ali, 19 for 2 after 2.
Yasir. Oh, wrapped in front. Well, that was close. Was the bat involved there? That is the only question that we need to find an answer to.
I think the indication that there was bat is because umpire Mujahid immediately started walking away. Because if there was no bat, which I don't think so, there was plumb in front. Not sure what saved Muazzam Hayat there. Brilliant delivery.
Well, that was a brilliant delivery. Now, felt as if it was very close. Drives it down, straight to the mid-off. Will just be a dot.
This is some very inspired bowling from these 2 fast bowlers, except the wides and extras that they've bowled. They've done really well to put Carwan CC on the back foot very early on in the game. Here's another look at that shout. Pitching on middle, and wow, that seemed extremely close. Unless there was an inside edge. Be very lucky to be out there still, Muazzam Hayat. Once again, angling into the right-hander. They set off, got a quick single. They'll manage to complete it successfully. This will be the way to go now for these two. They've been put on the back foot, Carwan CC, by some very good bowling from CSS Group. As a result, they will look to buy some time now, settle in, get their eye in, ride out this new ball attack. Try and stitch together a long partnership here, which is exactly what they need. They won't be too bothered about the run rate. They know they can catch up with it later on with some big hitters to come. But they can't afford to lose any more wickets from here on, at least inside the power play. Oh, very well bowled again. In that channel where the batter is unsure whether to go after it or not. And that movement, that shape, taking it away from the right hand. Brilliant stuff from Yasir. He was a little wavered in the first over. Bowling especially to Rohan Mustafa. Struggled to find his line, but in this over he's been superb. Uses his feet. Oh, he's running too much there. The third man fielder. Had he stayed where he was, that would have been a straightforward catch for him. Misjudged it. Took a thick outside edge. And there the third man fielder, he's about 10 or 15 steps in front of where he should have been. Had he stayed put, would have been a simple regulation catch to him. There's a chance gone begging. Ali Khan is very lucky. The fielder misjudged that. Gets a boundary. Unfortunate for Yasir, who's bowled really, really well here. Another good delivery to end the over. He's finding bounce, he's finding movement, and he's on the right channels here, Yasir. 24 for 2 after 3. Umar now to bowl his second over, bowled a good one and a successful one. Oh, that moved away from the left-handed Mozam Hayat. We saw him bringing one back in. This time he's swung it away from the left-hander, which is a brilliant skill to have. He did pick up the wicket of Rohan Mustafa in the previous over, looking to hit him towards the leg side, got a top edge and offered a simple catch to mid-off. And now Mozam Hayat, another left-hander. And Umar has bowled a good first ball, looking to pull him away, but completely missing out on that one. A real challenge being posed by these two fast bowlers to the star-studded side of Carwan CC. Once again, bending his back, and this time Mozam is nicely behind that.
Beautifully bowled there by Umar. Well, I think a lucky escape coming in for Ali Khan in the previous over. A misjudgment from the fielder, else that would have been a sitter had he stood his ground. Meanwhile, time for some rescue operation for Mozam Hayat and Ali Khan.
Shorter delivery, surprising the batter there. He's been on that good length, but this time dragging the length even further down. Mozam Hayat did look to hook that away, but again, not looking all too comfortable. 2 off 7, taking his time. And they have to, these two, in a bit of trouble here, 24 for 2.
That was a well-directed bumper from Umar. And one thing which I really liked about Mozam's approach on that short delivery was that he wanted to pull it down the ground, didn't try to hit it aerial. Yes, didn't have that connection, but yes, good intent.
Yeah, presenting the full face of the bat on the front foot on that occasion. Yeah, they will take their time. They understand the importance of putting together a partnership here. Cannot afford to lose another wicket inside the power play. They won't mind the run rate, as we said earlier. They've got enough names to come up and catch up on that run rate. But I'm mighty impressed with the talent that CSS Group has found in these two fast bowlers. Yes, they're young, they're raw, but they got all the makings to go on to have a successful career.
Certainly, I completely second that. And more importantly, they don't believe in having superstars on their side, but they rather believe in making one.
They're working more than just one superstars, that's for sure. Both these bowlers, Umar and Yasir, have been impressive. Once again, Mozam had looking to pull that away, but not making a connection. So there's two issues here. One thing is the extra carry that they're finding, the bowlers, and also it's not coming on like we saw in the first game. So quite challenging for the batters out there.
Well, pretty contradictory, isn't it? You're getting that extra bounce, but it is not coming in at that pace. Becomes further more difficult for the batters to judge at what pace the ball is coming at them.
Pushed towards cover. No run conceded. Another good over from Umar. Comes to an end. Just one run off it actually. 24 for 2 after 4.
Well, new bowler in, Rabin Krishna Madot. Another fast bowler for a change here. Well, will not express pace on the first delivery, but he'll be pretty excited with the swing that he's getting here. Now, very interesting field setup. They have a long on in place and a deep square with a ball that is swinging away from the right-hander. Now, is that a bluff? Does he have a ball that swings into the right-hander as well? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's 24 for 2 in 4.1. A very decent start coming in here for CSS. Cracked on the offside, no protection in the deep, and the ball will race away for a boundary. It was a loosener on offer for Ali Khan, and he made sure he got on top of it. Brilliant execution.
Yeah, they needed that, didn't they, Carwan CC? They've been under the pump. And when the opportunity was presented, Ali Khan making sure, taking full advantage on that occasion. This is what they need. They need a bit of a loosener here in terms of the bowling that CSS Group is offering. Madhot. And nothing too wrong with the delivery, just a little too much width of it, but otherwise I think the length was all right.
I think it's just that the width was a concern on that occasion, as you rightly pointed out. Again, he's getting that movement. Not very impressed with the field setup here, Samir. Has a long on in place. And for a bowler who's getting the ball to swing horizontally away from the right-hander, ideally you should have someone in the cover sweeper to have insurance policy throughout for those sort of a shots, or you have a long off in place.
Call Alfred for insurance. No sponsorships here, just reminding. Uses the feet there. This time it goes down the leg side. No, but you make a very good point, actually. If the ball's moving away from the right-hander, the natural inclination is to try and slice it or cut it towards the off, so extra protection will always be useful. But this time he's been a bit more straighter.
At this phase, what is going to be more key for CSS is to avoid containing a lot of boundaries. Now I see a more sane field setup for the left-hander with the ball coming into him. They have a long on in place and a deep square.
He's pulled it away, and that fielder coming into play immediately. Shorter in length on that occasion from Madhot. Not too much damage done. It's come back well after conceding that boundary.
Well, the idea has to be to cut down boundaries. If you cut down boundaries, that forces the batter to play a shot out of ordinary, out of desperation, and that's where you purchase a wicket.
Nice and straight. Nicely behind that as well, Ali Khan. And a dot ball to end another good over. Just 6 runs off it. Going at 6 per over, Carwan CC, not something you associate with them usually. 30 for 2. Last over of the power play, so far belonging to CSS Group. Interesting here, they've gone for a third over for Omar, but this shot, a very weird looking one from Mozam Hayat, looking to swivel across and go towards square leg. He got a top edge on that occasion, went over the keeper. In fact, no, it's come off the pad of Mozam Hayat. A couple of leg buys added to the total. Omar will be glad that won't be counted against his tally of runs, but he's bowled extremely well. 13 deliveries so far, being given a third over because he's been economical, just 6 runs, and he's picked up the important wicket of Rohan Mustafa.
Very disciplined. One of them are very impressive as well. The channels he's hitting, using his shoulders to perfection on a wicket like this, which is double paced, and putting a lot of doubts in the mind of the batters here.
Already winning one part of the game, and that is the right decision at the toss, CSS Group. leg side dish on that occasion. He's flicked it off very nicely towards the fine leg boundary. He was up in the circle, so he only had to make sure that it was away from the fielder. And this time it's off the bat of Mozam Hayat.
Well, not trying to play too hard there, just right amount of bat involved and good placement. Playing it fine and playing it late. Close to the body, technique, pitch perfect.
I think it's such an important role that Mozam Hayat plays in a side like Carwan CC, which is full of dashers. And then you get someone like him who's got a very wise head on his shoulders, looks to take his time, plays the game, adapts to situations. I think over here in a game like this is where he thrives in situations like this. So it's good. The best man Carwan CC could have out there, they have him out there.
Beautifully played. Rising with the ball. You don't see that quite often coming through with the modern day cricketers. Someone who's very technically sound, Mozam, loves to play within that box, the virtual box, inside the crease, loves to play the ball within that zone.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make. He plays the ball to its merits, doesn't look to really force the issue too much, but he also has got that higher gear when needed, if he needs to pick up the pace and go at a higher strike rate. So a very, what can you say, a 360 kind of player who can turn it up if required. So Carwan CC will be glad that they've got him out there, so he needs to play an important role here in this first innings.
Certainly, they're putting in a show here, 23 partnerships worth. Nicely tucked around. Dealing in singles at the moment. They've got that boundary that they needed in the over on the very first ball. I think it's very crucial for these two to keep a calm head on their shoulders to ensure that they are pushing this partnership, get to that 50-run mark together, and gradually focus on every 15 runs from there on.
Yeah, you're right. Small targets. That's what they'll be looking at. Short-term goals. Try and get over one obstacle after the other and then reassess come the halfway stage or maybe around the 13th, 14th over mark. It's what would be an ideal total for them to go for. Again, onto his hips, he's tucked that around and he'll pick up another single. So dealing in ones and twos, they'll be more than glad to do it. One delivery left in the power play, which has certainly belonged to the men in blue, CSS Group. Have been super impressive with the new ball.
I really like the channels that he's hitting here, Umar. That back of length with an on and off awkward bounce coming through in his favor as well. The moment he went in a bit full, he got punished. Oh, short delivery, we'll have to wait for the single there. It's called as wide. Ali Khan asking for the second one of the over there.
Give them a finger, they want the whole hand. That's what they say about batters. Yeah, but that was too short from Umar, just trying to take the batter by surprise. You can excuse him for an extra because he's generally been quite economical. He'll have to re-bowl that one though. If he picks up a wicket here, then he would be glad that was called a wide. Now it's the last ball of the power play. Oh, slashed, hammered. One bounce into the fence. Ali Khan. He's starting to settle in now.
Well, a typical response from the batter after being bowled a short delivery to test his patience. He said, you offer me width, I'm going to thrash you on the offside. Did it perfectly. 6 gone, it's 44 for 2.
.22 dots in 36 deliveries. That's an indication of how well CSS have bowled. However, with that last boundary of the last ball in the power play, this 44 for 2 looking much more respectable for Carwan CC at the end of the power play. A bit of spin now, immediately after the power play with some protection being offered as well. That one stayed low, Mozam Hayat. We'll have a closer look at the conditions now.
Well, one thing I really like about this field setup is that very underestimated short mid-wicket has been deployed here. Do not understand the value of that fielder to cut down singles. Usually they give it up easily.
Yeah, there you go. Just when you say it, he's in action. Yeah, they don't want the batters to get those easy runs. They want to try and make run making as tough as possible. That's when you prize out those shots in anger. Those mistakes come out with that. And because he's turning it into the left-hander, that leg side becomes all the more important to protect. Again, this time though, slightly to the right of that fielder, will be able to pick up a single.
What it does is it forces the batter to take him out of that original stance of his, try to invent a shot. What exactly happened on that occasion with Mozam trying to maneuver around in the crease, try to play that shot wide of that fielder so that a single is on. By that time, you're already done with half the over.
And he can only do that off the back foot, because the moment you play him from the front foot, it will go straight to the fielder. So he's forcing the batter to go back. And when you're a spinner, you know if you have some purchase, the moment the batter goes back, they're asking the question again. I think it's an inside edge. Yeah, confirmation from the umpire. But a very well bowled delivery that went straight on with the arm.
Very nicely bowled. Look at that trajectory. Tossed it up and it just kept on going. Well, who better than Samir would know about left-arm spinners coming in from the land where a lot of left-arm spinners have been produced, born, attributed right from the birth. Well, congratulations, you have a left-arm spinner that is born in your family.
I'll be turning too much on that occasion, down the leg side. It's interesting, my only son though, he bats left hand and he bowls with the right arm, so ambidextrous in some way. Uppishly played, but quite safe because long on is deep in the boundary. They're coming back for the second, so making use of that casual approach from the fielder down there.
This is very good deployment here from the skipper of CSS Group. Yes, they did manage to get that second run, but that was again out of desperation where Mozam was forced to go onto the back foot and play that aerial chip.
I've seen signs of good leadership here from Rojit. They have had success here, CSS Group. They do come with a reputation. Around the wicket to the left-hander. Will be a leg by to end the 7th over. Decent one from Ravindran. Just 5 runs to his tally. 6 of the over, so though 50's up for Carwan CC at the end of the 7th over.
The next patches of play, I've been joined in by Adnan Arif. Adnan, welcome back.
Thank you so much. And straight away, welcome with a spin off the surface. A pretty recent start for CSS Group. A win for 13 in the first over, and how well they've come back to just give away 44 and pick up 2 important wickets in the power play. And both the batters, they're very aggressive batters, Hamid Khan and Rohan Mustafa.
Both back in the hut, and a rescue operation in process here between Mozam and Ali Khan. I like this style that he's adapted here, Vishnu Raj, bowling those off spinners to Mozam Hayat to cut down the probability of utilizing that shorter boundary. if he was continuing with his leg spinners.
Absolutely. The need of the hour, and obviously he's got the skills to bowl those off spinners to the left-hander. We've seen it already in the first two deliveries that he's bowled spot on with his lines and lengths. But will he be bowling those off spinners to the right-hander? Not a bad ploy if he goes on to bowl the off spinners as well. He's got a pretty big boundary on the leg side, which he does actually starts with that off spinner. Watchfully played by Ali Khan.
Now this is where the leadership comes in play. Very smart and proactive field setup here from Rojit Ganesh. He has always kept that short mid-wicket from both the ends for the spinners, and this gives you that extra confidence and those extra dot balls as well. Meanwhile, that's pulled in the gap, and that has been timed beautifully by Ali Khan. Excellent placement in the gap, bisecting both the fielders to perfection.
Well, just a little short in terms of length, and how quick was he to pounce on that one. Right off the middle of the bat, and it went to the boundary in a jiffy. Placement, the key there, along with timing.
Well, that's what you get when you have Ali Khan out there in the center. He's someone who loves to take time, and then when he goes berserk, he doesn't spare any sort of a bowler, regardless of how good of a form you are in.
A good start for him, 23 of 15. And look at that. Straight away brings out the leg spinner, which he's more confident with, especially against right-hander, which actually might work in his favor. A pretty decent start from Vishnu despite going for a boundary. But again, talking about that mid-wicket in place always for the right-hander, it's got to do more with the bowlers as well. They've got to stick with the stumps line.
Nicely bowled, very well tossed up, and nicely played as well by Mozam Hayat. 8 overs gone, it's 56 for 2.
Atul Ravindran will continue from the SCA end, left arm spinner.
Oh, beautifully bowled. Tossed up, bowled it slow through the air. And I think again, for the right-hander, he doesn't have that sort of a protection coming through. That is of the short mid-wicket. But for the left-hander, he definitely has one. So you have to give it up to the skipper for reading Mozam's game, that he's not someone who will go aggressive after the bowling immediately.
And also it's got to do with the wicket offering some spin there. So, Mozam likes to build up his innings with singles and doubles. That was a short delivery, enough time for him to rock back and pick up a single there.
I think almost playing 4 overs there, Mozam by himself, 24 deliveries for his 16. He'll try to find that area wherein he can switch momentum here, switch the gear to get a couple of boundaries, to have that runner ball affair at least, and ease out the pressure on Ali Khan.
Absolutely. Oh, that is again timed really well and very well fielded by the captain himself on that occasion, cutting it down to just a single. Very good effort in the field.
Very athletic there, Rojit Ganesh. He's a strong athlete with a strong arm, and ensuring that there was not more than a single. This is what sets them apart from the rest of the teams here, CSS Group. They field well as a unit.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely converts those half chances into wickets and stops those singles. It really adds on to the pressure out there in the center, helps the bowlers get that confidence level up. So he's bowling right to his field as well. Ravindran just gone for 8 in his first 10 deliveries.
Again, bowling it slow through the air, forcing the batter to play on the back foot, and Mozam has definitely been pushed onto the back foot pretty nicely here by the left arm spinner Ravindran.
And so far, so good from him. And they've left that mid-wicket empty for a purpose. They want Ali Khan to go across the line, and there's plenty in the surface for the spinner. And he's bowling the right channels as well. And you can see that he's using the angles as well in the crease pretty well to his advantage.
Again, nicely tucked around towards the mid-wicket. Will be a single to finish off the 9th over. It's 61 for 2 after 9. Good bowling change here. Nipun has been the pivotal aspect of this entire lineup of CSS Group. Like this move.
To the right-hander, yes, but it might come into the hands of Mozam Hayat. Oh, look at that, wrapped on the pads. Very close there. Got to see umpire's decision there. Given as runs, probably the inside edge saved him there. Otherwise, that looked pretty close.
Well, absolutely. It hit on the back leg as well, so that inside is definitely coming in play. Going at 6.5. Now, Mozam needs to switch his gears. He needs to take Nipun Babu for the cleaners. He's getting that movement. Excellent bowling from Nipun. And why not? When you have that sort of a control in your bowling, why don't you go ahead and give it to your prime left-arm spinner who has been ruling the roost for the side over the last year or so?
And look at that. Left-hander on strike, and Nipun Babu has become a Chinaman all of a sudden.
It's no longer a Chinaman. A left-arm wrist spin and a right-arm wrist spin. The new attributes coming in. Swept, but this is a brilliant over. Just 3 runs of it, and they've pushed Karwan onto the back foot here, going at 6.4 an over at the halfway mark.
Well, at the halfway stage, Carwan CC 64 for 2. A good little partnership between these two, worth 50 already. But they definitely want a lot more than that, what they have achieved in the first 10 so far. Just 2 wickets down for Carwan CC. Mozam Hayat playing a second fiddle. Ali is going good from the other end. 28 of 22. And good bowling from Ravindran. 2 overs, just 10 runs into his third one. And he's bowling according to the field that he's set up so far. He's certainly generating some spin off the surface as well. On to the back foot. Hit that pretty well, but straight to the fielder. So Ravindran is sticking with that good length, back of the length deliveries. I won't be surprised if he goes on to bowl a fuller delivery. He's generating enough ton. Asks the batter probably to go across the line. Again shot. This is in the air briefly, but goes towards the field after a couple of bounces. That rushed onto Ali Khan pretty quickly. He got in position, but not off the middle of the bat. A single taken though. Well, Mozam Hayat, he's got to just up the ante here. Going at a strike rate of close to 70. Brings that sweep out, running the first one hard. Chancing the arm, and they'll make it pretty comfortably. Good running. And this is the sort of urgency they need in the batting lineup now. The first 10 overs certainly belonging to CSS in terms of run rate, though Carwan CC have plenty of wickets up their sleeve and plenty of batters down the order. Oh, what a delivery. And the finger goes up. Enough spin off the surface. The first one that he's bowled a little fuller and has got the reward. Look at that, caught right in front of the stumps. Mozam Hayat, after stitching up a 50-run stand for the third wicket, departs on 21 of 32 deliveries. Ravindran picks up his first of the match. Third wicket down for Carwan CC on 68.
Time for Aftab Alam. Mohammad Aftab Alam Zahir Shah, that's his full name. Known as Aftab Alam. 68 for 3 in 10.5. They have 2 slips in place here. This is aggressive captaincy. Attacking stuff. They're not giving it up easy.
Yeah, plenty of it in the surface. Certainly the right ploy to go with, but not the right length to be bowling with 2 slips in place. That was way wide. Picks up a single of the very first delivery. Aftab Alam gets off the mark. 69 for 3 after 11.
Carwan Cricket Club. Well, they are sitting on top in terms of the points table. They've won 2 of 2. And man of the match of the previous game, Aftab Alam, is out there in the center. A lot would be expected out of him in terms of taking up the responsibility to get to a decent total.
Very well played there in the end. Was looking to make room to open up the offside. But very well bowled once again. Following the batter, Nipun. He's a very smart operator. And a good change to be introduced in that 9th over for CSS Group. That was really close. That came in with the arm. Just the height, maybe the question there.
Well, that was close. That was mighty close. For an instance, I felt it was a goner. Oh, this is beautifully bowled here by Nipun Babu. He's toying around with the experience of Ali Khan. Let's have a look at that LBW. No. The previous delivery. Played down well by Ali Khan. Down the leg side. Scamper through for a single. And that'll be one leg by to end the over. 12 gone. Let's have a look at that LBW shout. Well, was there a bat involved there? That was the only question. Otherwise, that was very straight, in my opinion.
Ravindran with his last over of the match. Oh, look at that. What a good delivery. One of the few deliveries that he's bowled fuller. And on that occasion, going on with the arm. So he's certainly mixing it up pretty well here. Ali Khan with few dot deliveries in his last few strike will definitely be feeling a lot of pressure.
The key has been bowling slow through the air. They're just not offering pace at all to these batters, especially since the time the spinners have been asked to operate from both the ends. First it was Atul Ravindran, then came in one over from Vishnu Raj, then it was being swapped. He was being swapped by Nipun Babu. And how well they have executed their plans. They've pulled the run rate down below 6 and over.
And that goes to show the dominance of the bowling team. The first 6 overs going for 44, the next 6 going for just 27. Oh, that rushed on to the batter pretty quickly. Just sliding down leg in my opinion. And right call from the umpire.
Well, definitely not getting those. They've got some close calls right up. Mujahid Raza as well as Asif Billah. What a spell this has been from Atul Ravindran. And he smokes one towards deep mid-wicket for a maximum. This is top shot here from Aftab Alam. He's not letting this go easy or slip away from the hands of Karwan.
Look at that. Not really in line of the ball, but enough extension of the arm to take it as a half volley and hit it off the middle of the bat for a maximum. Very good connection from Aftab. Certainly showing the confidence from the last match.
Again, pulled it in the gap. And that will be a boundary to follow that maximum. This is good batting here from Aftab. Trying to apply pressure in the final over of Atul Ravindran. Suddenly, his bowling figures have been disturbed here. 10 runs of the last 2 balls.
Just a little short and how quickly he got into that position to execute another good shot. And the placement was the key. Those two fielders are very close to each other, but they did not get a chance to even come close to the ball.
Well, that's an advantage of the shorter boundary being utilized the fullest. Now, if you see, he has been moved a bit straighter now. A lot squarer, rather. Cow corner is open. But doesn't matter. Finishes off his spell with a dot. 4 overs, 26 and a wicket. 13 gone, it's 82 for 3.
That is going to be Ranjit Mani. Likes to take the pace off the ball, bowls those off cutters into the surface. That's been played towards the cover sweeper.
Balls those cutters. Again, the rules getting strict here in the domestic circuit. You have to be very watchful.
Well, I think they're quite okay with the over rate.
Nicely played towards the mid-wicket. Looking for that second run, but Ali Khan not the quickest among the Karwan lot. Will settle for a single. It'll be very interesting to see how Ali Khan goes about things against Ranjit Mani. He's someone who comes in and bowls those off cutters.
Well, taking the pace off that one into the surface. Plenty of time for the batter to find the spot, but he could only manage to find the fielder there. Just a single on that occasion. It's now time to introduce back Samir Yunus back in the com box to take you through the next passage of play. Welcome, Samir.
Thank you, Adnan. It's been quite a drag, hasn't it, from Carwan CC. 85 for 3 in the 14th over. Generally, you find a strong batting lineup like theirs going at easily more than 8 runs per over. But CSS have bowled extremely well. And they've made use of the assistance being offered here. And this track, Ranjit Mani, someone very experienced. He'll know exactly what's required of him. They've picked up that wicket of Mausam Hayat, but Aftab Alam has come out and looked to play some shots.
He was the man of the match in the previous match for Carwan CC, certainly going at 150 strike rate. So he's the man who's looking to up the ante. Ali Khan on the other end, looking to just play out a few more overs before he goes for those big ones.
Ranjit Mani offering nothing in terms of pace here. It's been change, it's been take the pace off on this track, and that's worked for bowlers. Even from the first game, we saw Farid doing brilliantly in the back end of the innings, and now Ranjit Mani, with all his experience, realizing what's required of him on this track, and run scoring hasn't been easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Those spinners were really bowling in the right areas, didn't allow any freebies to the batters. Another off-pace delivery. A fumble from the keeper will allow them to take a single as buys, but a very good over. The first 6 overs went for 44, and the next 8 goes for 44 too. Such has been the dominance of CSS Group in this match. 14 overs done, 88 for 3.
super economical. Gave away nothing to the batters so far. 88 for 3. There's 6 overs left in this game, in this innings. Carwan CC need to now start finding the boundaries. And they're up against a very wily customer in Nipun Babu. Around the wicket. The first ball has been cut away, and a brilliant piece of fielding there at point is Zohaib, the tall left-handed batter, throwing himself to stop a certain boundary at least.
A very good effort in the field. This is what CSS Group as a unit does to the opponents. They're very good in the field. Certainly stop a lot of runs. And they have the ability to convert those half chances as well.
Push quicker on that occasion by Nipun. Will stay low, doesn't turn much. And another dot ball. So Ali, unlike himself, has gone at a runner ball. Oh, he was lucky he got the bat there. Had to really reach out to that one. Well bowled by Nipun Babu. Saw him coming down the track and threw it wide.
A smart bowling. This is the quality of a good bowler. Watches the batters pretty late. And they adjust the lens beautifully. Well, a fuller delivery. This is once again going for a maximum. A very good hit from Aftab Alam. Just when Ali is struggling at the other end, he's finding the middle of the bat.
Well, this was the insulin that was needed. The sugar was rising. The pains were coming in. And Aftab Alam has said enough is enough. I'm going to go after him. That was an old-fashioned slog sweep over mid-wicket for a maximum. Much needed for Carwan CC. They need to get going from here on. Going at just over 6.5 runs per over.
That was pushed quicker, very well played, using the pace of the bowler, playing it late and bisecting the fielders pretty comfortably. They're looking for the third one, but they would have to settle for a couple. Good batting here from Aftab Alam. Smart cricket.
Here were 4 runs, Nipun, in the first 2 overs, and now 10 of this over thanks to that big shot towards the shorter side of the ground, the maximum. They've managed to somehow up the ante. Another big one, although he hasn't made the best of connections, it'll go straight to the fielder. Won't get to the 3-figure mark, Carwan CC. In the 15th over, they've only managed 99 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. Being his usual self here, just taking the pace off. This time it's been hit towards cover. Will pick up a single off the first ball of the 16th over. 5 overs left at none. 100s up for Carwan CC finally. What will these two batters be thinking? Will they have a target in mind? Will they try to now go after everything?
Well, the way things have panned out so far, 150 seems to be a good total because there's plenty in the surface for the spinners and enough for the fast bowlers as well.
Push straight to the fielder. The ground fielding has been fantastic from these boys. Donning the blue today, CSS. They've held on to their catchers. They've made sure they've kept these batters on their toes. Ali Khan has battled it out there. He's obviously hasn't been his usual fluent self. Likes to go for his big shots, but today he's been forced to be in a shell the way he's gone about. He's heaved that past a fine leg fielder. Finally, he'll be able to break the shackles there. Get a much needed boundary.
Just missing on the line on that occasion. The length was fine, but just a little bit of error committed from the bowler. That was enough for Ali Khan to maximize that error. Picks up a boundary, a much needed one to get them going. Ali Khan finds a boundary. Probably that should get him going.
Yeah, 6 in the previous over, 4 in this one. This is what they'll be thinking. Try and get a boundary every over and then run as hard as they can. Pick up at least 8 to 9 runs in these next few overs. That should get them to about 140. And I think 140 plus is a decent score on this surface. Should give their bowlers something to bowl at. And they've certainly seen how to go about things with the ball in hand on this pitch.
You can easily say that they have saved at least 10 in the field, 10 runs. This is not off the middle of the bat. The cover fielder getting around it. And what a catch this is from the captain. What a catch. I think it's the best catch of the tournament.
We were just praising their fielding. And the skipper of the CSS group with a Superman effort down at extra cover. Full length delivery. Outside off. Ali Khan has given it everything. But look at that for a catch. Diving for sideways. And holding on to it while he lands and slides on the grass. Ali Khan, a tough innings from him, but he stood out there. 37 of 36, 6 fours in it. It's 104 for 4.
Furkan Khalil at number 6 for Carwan CC. And straight away, he knew what Ranjit Mani is going to do. Shimmy down the wicket, and he's made the most of it. A maximum to start off with.
Furkan Khalil has completely disregarded what has happened before this. Difficult pitch? What difficult pitch? Come down the track, meet the ball where it's landing, and bang, back into his dugout. What a way to get off the mark.
On the first tier, straight away. And he exactly knew what Ranjit Mani was doing, sitting there in the dugout, watching the screen. On to that very early. Look at that. Shimmy down the wicket, taking it on full. That was the catch of the tournament. Full stretch dive, and to hold on to that with the dive, hitting your body hard takes some effort.
Leading by example. Skipper Rojit there in the field. This one's slightly shorter. Khalil after that maximum will push it towards the third man fielder, get a single, and that'll end a good over for Carwan CC. Yes, they lost a wicket, but they had quite a few runs in it as well. Nelson's up on the board, 111 for 4. End of this innings now, death overs coming up, and they've turned to their premier fast bowler Yasir Ahmed to deliver this 17th over. I'm sure Umar has one more over, so he will feature in the next couple of overs as well. So interesting end coming up here. Carwan CC want to push on and get a big score, while CSS Group will try and consolidate and put a lid on the scoring. Over starts off with a slow, loopy, lower full toss. He looked to guide that past the fielder, but it's another good fielding effort to keep it to just a single.
Yeah, certainly saving a couple of runs. So you can add that tally of 2 more runs to the total. At least 12 runs saved in the field. They really put their bodies behind the line. CSS Group. And how well has Yasir bowled in the power play. Picked up that important wicket up front to stem the flow of runs.
This one's nice and straight. He's chipped that towards deep square leg. Will be another single. So Aftab and Khalil will know that they need to now try and find the boundaries regularly. There's just over 20 balls left in this innings. They're on 113. If they are to get to 150, they'll have to at least go at 2 runs per ball.
Yeah, 150 would be a really good total. So far, they are on track to get past it. Plenty of wickets up their sleeve. Good bowling here from Yasir. He's mixing up the pace pretty well.
And that's good to see from the youngster we saw. With the new ball, he was bending his back, using the length, getting that extra bounce against Rohan Mustafa and Hamid Khan. And now, given the ball is softer, he's slowing it down, learning from his senior faster bowlers that you have to take the pace off. So there's a really good signs of a good fast bowler learning his trade very fast here in this iconic stadium.
Well, third man and fine leg in the circle. That means you've got to be straight. Can't afford to give any width to the batter, either side of the wicket.
This is high. This is very, very high. He hasn't middled it. Mid-wicket comes in and takes a comfortable catch again. Who else but the skipper himself once again? If he can take those diving catches, he can certainly take those sitters.
Once again, change of pace working for Yasir in the slot, but just away from the body. And he could only manage to sky it up in the air. And Rojit, you've already seen that he's not going to be dropping those. Pretty easy take for him. Mohammad Aftab Alam, after scoring a good 27 of 19 delivery, departs. Wicket number 5 of Carwan CC goes down on 114.
Just when Karwan were looking to accelerate, they've come back and picked up another wicket. That too of the set batter.
Well, smart bowling change. Nipun Babu just going for 10 runs in his previous over. And the captain was spot on to make the change and picked up a wicket here.
Oh, this is unfortunate for Yasir. He's bowled another brilliant slow ball. He's taken the outside edge. Oh, and Zohaib looking to use a bit of footwork to try and drag that in. Will allow it to trickle away to the boundary.
Well, he's got plenty of batting skills, Zohaib, but I can tell you he's not a great footballer. That should have been stopped. He did the hard job, reached to it, but just got the footing wrong on that occasion.
Yeah, could have bent his back and pulled it back with his palms, but unfortunately for Yasir, he concedes a boundary. First ball of Zaid Ali gets a 4. Not off the middle of the bat, but he'll take it. Down the leg side, won't collect it, the keeper. Let's wait for the umpire's signal. Has he taken something on the way? In fact, yeah, that's a leg bye.
Right then, a leg bye. Conceded, a single given off the last ball of over number 17. Carwan CC, 119 for 5. Right, change of ends for Nipun Babu. He's going to be bowling from the Sharjah Bukhatir end.
Interesting, going with the spinner in the 18th over. And Nipun Babu has earned it because he's bowled really well. Given away just 15 of his 3. Rojit keeping his faith in his premier spinner.
Well, a brave call, I must say. Can go either way. But Rojit sticking to the experience of Nipun Babu.
Push towards square leg. They'll look for the second one. They'll challenge the throw. They'll get it comfortably. Couple of runs early in the over. But what they want, Karwan, is a ball to go beyond the fence. Couple of big hits, couple of boundaries is what they need in these last few overs.
Yeah, they need Furqan Khalil on strike. There's 16 more deliveries left in this innings. If they can go on to manage another 29 runs, they'll be pretty happy with their effort. Looking to switch it there. Misses it completely. Very well bowled by Nipun once again.
Zahid Ali needs to realize that he needs to get that single and get Furqan on strike. There's no point him trying to go big. Now that's much better. Push it in the gap. Get at the non-strikers in and let your premier big hitter do all the hitting here.
Well, good over so far. Just 3 of the first 4 deliveries. They really need a boundary here. Carwan CC.
That was a chance. Yes, a difficult one, but the way they fielded tonight, CSS Group, wouldn't be surprised if Nipun Babu held on to that. But another nice loopy delivery. Really got him to play on the front and very early.
Well, he's a superb fielder. One of the best fielders going around. Almost had that return catch. Gave it all, but couldn't reach it. So single taken. Just 4 of this over so far.
Down the ground, should be safe. Another single. 18th over, conceding just 5 runs. And in his 4 overs, he concedes 20 runs only, Nipun Babu. This is brilliant, given the context of the tournament. 1, 2, 4 for 5.
$18 overs done. 124 for 5. It's going to be Yasir to bowl out his quota of 4 overs. Last one for him.
Keep the way towards the leg side. Will be a single off the first ball, and more importantly for Carwan CC, it's going to be Furqan Khalil on strike now. Yasir to bowl this one, and then probably Umar will bowl the last one, who's picked up 2 wickets already with the new ball. It's an important couple of overs, especially for CSS, if they can maintain what they've done so far. Maybe give away just 15 runs. I think they'll be very happy with what has transpired so far after having elected to bowl first.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've done a pretty decent job up till now. Not allowing them to get off the hooks. Just managed to get 7 and over until over number 18. because the Carwan CC, they've got explosive batters and they bat really deep too.
Look at the desperation in that shot. To drag it from outside off. Wanted to go leg side because it's a shorter boundary. He only manages to hit it hard onto the pitch. And another single, the penultimate over. Only given away 2 runs so far. Yasir is doing a good job for his team here.
Yeah, new face for CSS Group, and certainly has impressed most of us. Just 27 given away in a matter of 3.2 overs, picked up 2 important wickets. And he's mixing up the pace pretty well. So far, so good from him.
Swiping across again. And that's been, I think, one downfall from the batter's side. They've looked to play horizontal on too many occasions. We've seen batters finding success when they've looked to go in front in the V. That's given them some runs. But the moment they look to swipe across, that's when the nature of the wicket, because it's slow, it takes the under part of the bat and trickles along the ground.
Mostly you've seen it from this end because the short boundary on the leg side, the batters does have the tendency to go towards that shorter side.
Use of the feet in the gap, and he'll run away to the boundary. So Furkan is turning it on here.
Well, not a bad delivery, but it's just about timing on that occasion and placement. 4 very important runs for Carwan CC. Yasir was bowling a pretty decent over up till now. That was not a bad delivery, as I said. Just good batting on that occasion from Khalil. Moves on to 15 off 7.
The fact that you're getting the batter to do something different in itself is a win for the bowler. Yes, you might concede a boundary here and there. Very nicely done. Should be called a wide, unfortunately. He saw the batter coming early, had to go wide. But that is where it is. The margins for error for fast bowlers in this format especially is absolutely minimal.
Well, he read the bowler's mind on that occasion. Furkan Khalil, he knew it would be an off-pace delivery. Did everything right. Just the line too wayward on that occasion. Unable to get any connection. Called a wide. He'll have to re-bowl that one.
You wanted to hit that out of the park. Stayed low. Furkan.
Yeah, too much movement in the crease. Usually what happens is you tend to lose that stability, which is required when you go big. So just missing the trick on that occasion, Furkan Khalil.
Yeah, good observation. Actually, a lot of coaches will tell you for power hitting especially, you need to have a stable base. You can't be moving around while playing a shot. Furkan on that occasion, just doing a little too much in terms of dancing on the pitch. Missing out on that one. Last ball of this over. Again, the same result. Slowing it down, Yasir. Furkan is trying to come down the track and play a shot on the move, which is never easy, even if you're the best of batters. 19 done, it's 132 for 5. 1 more over left in this innings.
Well, Ranjit Mani will be bowling the last over of the innings. Starts off with that off-cutter, and he's beaten both the men on that occasion, the batter as well as the keeper.
Well, I'll tell you, this pitch has been a nightmare for the keepers, even from the first game. The ball doesn't come at a comfortable height. You've got to really move around trying to collect it. There have been quite a few extras, so they've had their work cut out. Ranjit starts off with a wide. Interesting choice to go with him. I thought they would have gone with Umar, the more premier faster bowler, but because Ranjit has that experience and he does slow it down, his keeper has placed his faith in him. He'll have to reload that one.
Well, you know as a batter that he is going to be bowling that off-cutter, but he still deceives you. And it's the length which is the key there. Last time it was Furkan Khalil who got the better of Ranjit Mani, but he will certainly be looking to make a comeback here.
It's just losing his shape. That's been the problem for Furkan Khalil in the last few deliveries. They will collect that extra run for a bye. He's an offside delivery. He's looking to try and hit that on the leg side, especially that leg side being the longer boundary. So just going for that old-fashioned hike instead of playing the ball to its merits. Now he could have easily gone over extra cover, an old-school drive, but he chose to go leg side.
Yeah, which is a short boundary on the offside.
This is high. Has it gone the distance? Yes, it has. Zahid Ali with the goods for Carwan CC. Much needed maximum comes off the bat of their opening fast bowler.
Yeah, and that maximum also takes them over that 140 run mark. What a good connection. Just a little short in length, given enough time for Zahid Ali to pick up his spot, and he finds a maximum there.
I think what he did well was he waited for the ball to come to him. Didn't look to force the issue. He waited and waited. And when it finally got to him, he did well enough for it to go all the way. This time he shuffles across, goes leg side. Oh, and another attempt down at deep square leg to take a good catch, but unfortunately, it's fallen off his hands and trickled to the boundary.
Well, the fielder did a very good job getting across it. Look at that. That was hit hard, and it's a pretty long boundary on that side. He did cover up a lot of distance, got his hands to it, but couldn't manage to hold on to it. Well, a boundary conceded. Important 10 runs in the last two deliveries. And that is certainly creating a lot of belief in the Carwan CC camp.
Yeah, Zahid is ensuring he himself has something to bowl at when it's his turn. He's making sure there's enough runs on the board for them to try and defend here. Right, then the keepers come up now, so the shuffling will have to stop from Zahid. Ranjit Mani has been expensive in this over. A 6 and a 4 conceded already. Carwan CC are getting to that 150 mark, which they would have thought about at the halfway stage.
Well, 13 off this over already. And this was bowled with pace. Certainly putting a lot of pressure on Ranjit Mani tonight. Gone for 29. Usually you don't see that kind of bowling figures from him.
Zahid Ali, the first shot that he hit in this over, he stood his ground, went down the ground. The second one he shuffled across, went leg side. This one he tried to open up and go on the offside. So he's really thinking about what he wants to do here. Once again, full outside off. This seems to be working for Ranjit here.
He's bowling with pace now. When he bowls with pace, he gets that movement away from the right-hander. Should have gone for it from ball one and mixed it up with those slower deliveries. He got too predictable, in my opinion, in the first three deliveries, now making a comeback in the last two.
One shot away from that 150 mark. Can Carwan CC get to it? It's high. It's gone straight to the fielder. And another good catch in the deep. And once again, it's Rojith. Well, will that be the difference tonight? The fielding and the catching of CSS Group. They pick up the wicket of Zahid Ali, and more importantly, they keep Carwan CC under that 150 mark.
Well, how easy is he making those catches look? Once again, had to run around and to hold on to that. Once again, beautifully done, beautifully executed, well led, good bowling changes. He's doing everything right, Rojit, in the first half of the game. Carwan CC, let's quickly look at the batting scorecard. Rohan Mustafa, without troubling the scorer, goes out on a duck. Azizullah, 6 for him. Ali Khan, 37 for him. Muazzam Hayat, pretty slow, but he provided that partnership they required. 21 of 32. Aftab Alam with a well-made 27. Khalil, 15 of just 10 deliveries, providing them that impetus they needed. And Zahid finishing off with 20. Taking the total to 145 for 6. And those 19 extras really helping them.
Yeah, they had to take their time in the middle. Ali Muazzam and Aftab Alam, given the conditions, they knew this is how they need to go on a track like this. As for the bowlers, they've been fantastic for CSS Group. Right from the top, Yasir and Umar bowling with the new ball very nicely. 3 wickets between them, giving away 53 runs together. Madhoj just bowled 1 over. Then the spinners came into action. Ravindran, Vishnu and Nipun kept control in those middle overs. Didn't really allow the batters to break loose. Ravindran with a sole wicket there. And then Ranjit Mani being the most expensive, but he did pick up 2 important wickets, gave away 29 runs in his 3 overs. I thought Umar would have been a better choice to bowl that last over. However, most of the changes from the skipper have been brilliant for CSS Group, and they've managed to restrict Carwan CC to 145. Now, whether that'll be enough or not is what remains to be answered here at the Sharjah Stadium. Well past into the night here with 110 on the clock. 146 is the target for CSS Group, and they'll have to do it in their allotted 20 overs at a run rate of 7.3 per over. We'll be back with the run chase in a few minutes. Welcome back to the chase here between Carwan CC and CSS Group. 145 is what Carwan CC have managed after having been put to bat first, and now it's CSS's turn to try and hunt those runs down. Zohaib Khan, the aggressive, hard-hitting left-handed batter, right at the top for CSS, and just looking at the way the wicket-keeper has stationed himself, Furkan Khalil, it seems like there will be spin right at the top. Interesting call, this from the Carwan CC camp. An interesting chase coming up as well here as Ranjit Mani at the top of the order. Another good different call being made by CSS Group. And to call this game in the first few overs with me is Asim Sheikh.
Pretty interesting ploy here. Left arm spinner immediately. And it's going to be Awais Ali Shah. Now, he is someone who bowls quick through the air. Not a big turner of the ball, but this wicket has definitely a lot to offer for the spinners who bowl slightly slow through the air. Let's see what he has in his plans. Here we go. Oh, immediately, that arm ball moving away from the left-hander.
Yeah, he won't find much turn with the new ball, that's for sure. What he needs to do is ensure he lands in on the right spots. Let the pitch do the rest for him. Good first ball to Zohaib. And the second ball, Zohaib has cut that away into the gap on the offside. A little bit of width, and he's too good a batter to miss out on that one. First runs on the board.
Very good shot onto the back foot. Now, this is utilizing the field setup to the fullest. Now, with the new ball, the ball will naturally move away from the left-hander. How wise is this move to come around the wicket and make life easier for a batter?
Yeah, and because the leg side boundary is also long, he has every privilege to try and go over the wicket, and he's done exactly that now. Learning his lesson very quickly. Probably heard you there, Asim.
Do we have some speaker there? That's a lot better. Even though he's still getting that shape away, there will always be a doubt in the mind of the batter whether there is an odd ball that comes in.
And also the angle with which you finish as a left-arm spinner, you're always going into the pitch, which means the ball's going to eventually come in. Zohaib, they're just trying to make an adjustment, opening up and going aerial onto the offside. He's realized that he's going to try and utilize that offside boundary in these power play overs.
Well, might as well fancy a chance there of improvising his field. If he's bowling a bit too straight to the line of the stumps, maybe get your mid-wicket in and get your long off behind. Bowling a bit too full, that's a leading edge. Again, he's getting that movement away, that drift away from the left-hander. Might as well be a wise choice to get that long off behind.
Yeah, you don't mind conceding the single early on. Gone. Very well bowled. Offered flight. Zohaib using his feet to come down the track. It was too far from him. And Furkan Khalil, well, he's one of the finest wicket keepers. He's done well enough to dislodge the bills.
To all the youngsters who are watching, if you want to know what is throwing wicket away, this is a sheer example. Throwing his wicket out of desperation. Not sure if that was needed. Chasing just 145 and throwing his wicket away in the very first over. Not a good sign of a good batter there. Zohaib Khan departs 4 of 6 and a successful over comes to an end here for Karwan. For 1 after the end of the first over. Successful outing there for Awais. Was trusted with the new ball. And immediately you have a spinner from the other end, Rohan Mustafa. Ball slow through the air. Gets purchase immediately.
Yeah, this is a very different call from the Carwan CC camp. Going with spin from both ends. Rohan Mustafa will surely try and zip it through. That's what he's good at. As a fast bowler myself, this can be a very offensive move to the fast bowler in your team. Zahid Ali, I'm sure, won't like this decision too much.
Well, especially with the kind of form he is in with the new ball, and not known for his old ball tricks for sure. But if a spinner can bowl with that trajectory and getting some purchase out of it, I think no harm in compromising that as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to go with what the team requires. You have to make do with the plans that have been put in place. I'm sure Zahid will be called upon at a later stage to try and bowl those difficult overs in the middle, as Ranjit pushes that towards the leg side and gets off the mark with that single. So a good start already this for Carwan CC in defense of their 145.
Certainly, and with leadership of Babar, you really can't predict what's the next move coming in. And at times it goes in favor of the side, at times it goes against, but that's exactly where he stands out. Very unpredictable in his decisions.
He's got the kind of players that have the ability to adapt to the kind of challenges he throws at them in terms of whether it be batting out of their usual positions or bowling in different stages of the game. He knows that they've got the ability to adjust and deliver what's required of them. Vishnu Raj, the left-hander, now takes strike for the first time with a slip in place for Ron Mustafa, who's bowled a brilliant first over so far. Just one run off it.
Well, again, very smart move. I think they're going with that attacking ploy here, forcing the opposition to go after this move. Brilliantly bowled. What an over. Just one run of it. 2 overs, 5 for 1.
Continues from the other end after a successful first over. Trusted again.
It's it straight back at the bowler.
Ranjit and Vishnu do have a job at hand here. They need to construct a partnership. Can't afford to take too much time as well, because yes, it's a low score, but when you're chasing, the scoreboard pressure is constantly on you. So a couple of challenges. One is to make sure they don't lose their wicket, and the other is to make sure that they keep the scoreboard ticking. The two spinners have been quite accurate so far.
Again, playing it soft hands. There is a fielder, the short mid-wicket area. That's a very good ploy. They do not want to cut down, give away those easy singles and add pressure onto the opposition. And this is how you can make a 146 look like a 166.
Nicely pulled away this time. Little shorter in length by Awais Ali. Much more comfortable there. Vishnu finally gets off the mark with that single. So certainly taking their time, these two batters. They know that if they can stay out there for a few overs, once they see the ball well enough, they can catch up with that required run rate.
They'll definitely be looking forward to those odd boundaries here in the power play. Especially with Ranjit Mani out there in the centre, we know he can go berserk after the opposition. Someone who, with a heavy bat, tries to go downtown.
Nicely pushed into the gap. That should run away to the boundary. A 4 when they needed it the most. The pressure was mounting, and that should release some of it.
I think width on offer and some additional width being purchased there by Ranjit Mani by taking some extra room. And even fittest of the lot, Ron Mustafa, just couldn't pull it down.
Well, his name's got money on it, so purchasing won't be a problem for him. A little bit of puns late into the night here in Sharjah. 1:30 AM, 11 for 1 last ball of the over. This time much straighter, following the batter, obviously. But a decent over nevertheless, despite that boundary. 3 overs, 11 for 1. Ron Mustafa continues from the Bukhatir stand end, and he concedes a single off the first ball.
I think his spell is going to make or break for Karwan, because he's the man with tons of experience. He knows a thing or two about how to bowl contained spells. He's done that in the past so many times. Might not pick up wickets, but he would still ensure that he contains it pretty nicely.
He's the kind of cricketer, Asim, that he loves to contribute to his team's cause. Now, he knows he hasn't been able to make runs for his team, and that's why you could see that keenness in him to try and, you know, bowl with a lot of heart, ensure that he keeps the scoreboard keeps the runs at bay, try and pick up a wicket. So that's the kind of passion he brings to the game, whether it's playing at the domestic levels or at the highest levels. It's always looking to contribute. This has been nicely swept, and that will run away to the boundary.
But in the gap, excellent placement there by Vishnu Raj. And chose the right area. There was that mid-wicket positioned quite straighter. Should have been in that spot where exactly the ball finished.
Yeah, because there's no turn on offer anyway. It's going to be straight. Oh, that could have easily gone on to hit the timber. Very lucky Vishnu Raj to have gotten away with that one. They'll get a couple of runs.
Still a very good start here for Karwan. They've pushed that required run rate to around 7.8, 7.9. Well, it's just about a couple of hits. Need to bowl with that sort of a consistency and cut down those boundaries.
Nicely driven. Long off should be able to cut that off. Will be a couple of runs more. A similar kind of start that CSS also got with the ball. Unfortunately, they had given away too many extras in the start, and that's probably going to be the difference here.
Obviously, 2 wickets, one of Rohan and the other one of Hamid Khan, 2 big names. That's been cut away straight to the fielder. Will be a dot to finish. Relatively inexpensive over from Rohan Mustafa. He's gone for 11 in his 2, 21 for 1 after 4.
Straight down the ground. Long on will be in action. Zahid Ali, who has not been given the responsibility to bowl the new ball, and I'm not sure how is it going to come on their side. If you're a Karwan fan, you would definitely not like that, where if the ball has lost its shine and Zahid Ali has been pushed into bowl.
Going for that big slog sweep. The ball didn't turn there from Awais Ali. That's probably why he couldn't get any bat onto that one. He's not afraid to flight it, and that's good to see. Encouraged here by the assistance offered to spinners. This time he gets some bat, but again not convincingly. They will manage to get a single off that under edge. Yasir Furqan Khalil has managed to get that ball onto the stumps, but the umpire says there's no need to go upstairs.
Well, not very impressed with the move from Vishnu Raj here. Could have easily tried to attack the offside area, just forcing that shot onto the bigger boundary.
Some skills on display here from Furqan Khalil.
Not in control at all. Managed to get a single. I think it's the natural instinct of aggressive batting that you look to go leg side when you want to go big. And that's what sometimes, or in fact most times, separates smart cricketers from ordinary ones. They know where the gaps are, they know where the boundary options are, and then they use those and put away their basic instincts to try and go big on the leg side all the time.
Exactly why we were talking about Zohaib was too early in that sort of an approach, because had he let the ball, the shine on the ball go, he wouldn't have got that drift, making that shot over the mid-off region a lot more easier.
It's not that kind of wicket anyway to try and attack from the ball number one. You've got to buy your time. Uppishly played, but will land safely for another single to end the over. So now these two have realized what's required on this track, and they seem to be getting a measure of things. But a good first 5 overs for Carwan CC. Nevertheless, it's 25 for 1. Where's this gone? Into the hands of Hamid Khan. That's where it's gone. Rohan Mustafa has been frustrating the batters with some very good bowling, and Vishnu has paid the price.
A very similar sort of a start here. Even they have lost 2 in the power play. It came in a bit late, but they have been kept silent in terms of their scoring rate. 25 for 2, and this is the 6th over in progress. Vishnu Raj departs, 12 of 14 for him. Got that start, but couldn't capitalize onto it.
Albin is the batter at number 4 for CSS Group, and he's come out at a very difficult time. And CSS are looking to try and make a chase out of this 145 that they've given away. Rohan Mustafa now has picked up a wicket, and be very glad that he has. Challenge for CSS now.
Certainly, they need a partnership the way Mozam and Ali Khan did in the first innings. Getting the outside edge, and we'll get a single. The single is always on, and Rohan Mustafa, as we know, he's usually animated with these sort of instances, trying to apply pressure. And what that does is even puts doubts in the mind of the batters. Did we run for the right run?
Yeah, you're right. He's one of those guys who will constantly keep you in check when you're a fielder in his team. 2s are supposed to be 1s, 1s are supposed to be dot balls when he's bowling. Well, it's good to see someone play with so much passion and fire, and that's what helps you bring out your best, doesn't it? Albin gets off the mark, and now he's back on strike. They're having to deal in singles here. The boundaries have dried up.
Well, some turn on offer there. I think if Rahman Ghani is watching from the deep, he'll be licking his lips here with the amount of turn. He's someone who has that revs on the ball. Would love to roll his 4 overs here.
You talk about T20 format, Asim. You talk about trying and hitting the ball to all parts. You've seen some crazy high-scoring games in the recent past, even in the IPL. But on pitches like this, it's back to fundamentals, isn't it? Back to your technique, how well you organize yourself. Look at that. He's bowled him. He's bowled him, Rohan Mustafa, looking to make room, Albin. And he's paid the price because he underestimated the turn that Ron Mustafa is extracting from this track.
Well, if you look at it, he bowled it a fraction too slow, a bit early onto the shot and missing it completely. And this is why we say play as close as possible to the body, especially on such turning tracks, especially on tricky wickets. Albin, well, a lot of hopes on him. It has to be for next time. Into the second game, they still have a game left, out for 1 of 4, and the CSS are struggling at 27 for 3.
Power play done and dusted. CSS haven't had the best of starts. 27 for 3 in chase of 146. And Awais Ali will bowl out here, and why not? He's bowled extremely well. Carwan CC choosing to finish him off and then maybe unleash the faster bowler later on. That's the wicket. Playing it too early, like you said, Asim, and not in control at all.
Well, this is why we say you need to be really a smart fox in order to operate on such wickets. When to give that extra pace, when to cut it down, and that's exactly what Rohan Mustafa did on that occasion. Nicely played. Wide of the mid-off fielder will scamper through for a single. So Srinath will be off the mark.
Yeah, a lot of the bowlers, they have this ability to figure out a batter's strengths and weaknesses after they watched him for a ball or two, how the batter set himself up, his foot movement. Going aerial down towards long on will be a single, and that sort of gives them that extra bit of planning in their mind of how they want to go about bowling to that batter. And especially if you're a bowler who can bat, who knows a thing or two about batting, that makes it all the more easy. And Ron Mustafa, I'm sure, knows quite a bit about batting.
Well, exactly, and he would definitely have that sense as to what the batter is going to be doing next, knowing that he has been into such situations quite a lot. And this is why we say experience is so crucial in the game of cricket.
Yeah, almost touching 40 now, Ron Mustafa, so he's played the game for a long time. Yeah, look at that. He's hit that into the pitch. And a misfill, allowing them to cross over for a single. It's 35, you say, Ron?
Yeah, I think close to 35. 88, I think, is his birth year.
Oh, he's as young as me. Then apologies, Ron, if you're listening to this. Nice and straight. Push towards the leg side will be another single. And another good over from Awais Ali. He bowls out 1 for 20. A good start from him. And at the end of 7, CSS are 33 for 3.
Rohan Mustafa will be done with his 4. And Awais has already completed his spell. Excellent bowling here. Rohan has just conceded 13 in his 3.1. Picked up 2 wickets. Both the wickets coming in his 3rd over. Almost carrying to the fielder there. Excellent effort by Aftab Alam. But this is a good ploy from Karwan Cricket Club. They've got in 2 men at the catching position, one at the square leg, the other one at the short mid-wicket. Have a look at it from this angle. Almost carrying, just dropping short of Aftab Alam. Played at aerial, chance for the fielder. And Aftab will not miss that. A fumble coming through, but at the end of what matters is that he has held on to it. Again, Rohan forcing the batter to make an error. An error in the shot selection. Look at that, that almost slipped. The technique was perfect. And what a way to welcome Adnan Arif in the comm box. Welcome, Adnan.
Well, in deep trouble. CSS Group 4 down for just 33 on board. It is going to be an uphill task from here onwards. 7.3 overs into the first innings, and how well have Carwan CC bowled? 33 for 4. Well, Rojit Ganesh, the captain, walking out into the centre at number 6, and he's got a big job in hand. How well have Karwan bowled? Started with 7.3, the required run rate. They've managed to push it up to 9 now.
Well, it all rests on the shoulder of Rojit and Ranjit.
Double R's.
Double jits. Again, nicely played. He's not going to take any risk whatsoever. It's turning out to be a wicket maiden here from Rohan Mustafa, and a dream spell for Karwan. And as I said, these decisions of Babar Iqbal, at times they're worthy of being praised. 33 for 4 after 8.
Well, Rahman Ghani, the new bowler for Carwan CC. Just a little bit of width on that occasion. Picks up a single Ranjit to get his captain back on strike. Now these both, they've got to stitch up a partnership, and they don't have that liberty of seeing the deliveries through. 9.4 is what the required run rate is at the moment. And spin being introduced as a first change. It's going to get difficult. There are plenty of spinners up their sleeves, Carwan CC. Certainly the wicket supporting the spinners. Looking to reverse sweep, and he's made a pretty decent connection onto that one. Picks up a boundary to get off the mark.
If orthodox becomes difficult, you become unorthodox. Very clear statement out there from Rojit. Great improvisation. Not in the best of position to execute, but all what matters is 4 runs that releases pressure.
He made sure that he got plenty of bat onto that one. Giving himself room, opening up the offside, the right way to go with the spin off the surface, the right areas. A single on that occasion. The keeper, I'm sure, will not be happy with that throw that came from the covers.
I've seen a lot of keepers shouting one bounce to the fielders to just remind them that the throw has to be on a bounce. And
Rajat Mani, he has been pushed into his shell, just not able to open up and play that free-flowing innings.
Well, hats off to the first two bowlers. Really didn't give him enough room. He likes room. He likes to go big, especially in the power play. Did not allow him to get out of his shell at all.
Nicely tossed up there from Rahman Ghani. Immediately getting his line corrected, not bowling it wide outside the off stump, getting slightly closer to the line of the stumps, which puts the batter in a lot of doubt whether to go for those unorthodox switches or not.
Well, a fuller delivery, and he's made the most of it. How well he bisected the field on that occasion. A pretty decent connection. One bounce and towards that bigger side of the boundary for a second 4 of the over.
Well, top shot, look at that, made room for himself and ensured that the area where you usually do not find fielders patrolling it has been picked up by Rojit. Gets 4 runs, 9 overs, 44 for 4.
Well, it's going to be the captain from the Sharjah Bukhatir end. A very handy bowler. Does go for runs, but he picks up those important wickets. Can really change the complexion of the game. Has been picking up wickets regularly. Recently picked up 500 wickets.
Well, he is the leading wicket taker for Karwan as far as the active squad is concerned.
Oh, very well played there with soft hands. Ran the first one hard and just made sure that they come back for the second. Smart batting from Ranjit as well.
Let's not forget the fact that Babar is the leading wicket taker in the tournament for Carwan CC with 5 wickets, closely followed by Zahid Ali with 5 as well. Meanwhile, looks like we've got a short run there, indicated by the umpire.
Straight away change in field. Mid wicket has been installed now. A loopy delivery. Running the first one hard, chancing the arm there. Oh, this could have been tight. I think a direct hit would have had him there.
Well, I think it's just about ensuring that the fielders are kept in the right position. Bigger boundary, maybe a few yards inside, can help stop those doubles. But a good throw. Good pick up and throw. Nice collect from Furqan Khalil as well.
Yeah, it's difficult to collect those. It comes at an awkward bounce. Well, taking the pace off. This is what Babar does. You've got to create or generate pace off the bat. And towards that bigger part of the boundary, Ranjit Mani is not taking chances at the moment. Ultimately, he would be, but not at the moment. 97 required of 63 balls.
Maybe just waiting for the fast bowlers to come in and operate. That may be one of those reasons for the delays. Nicely played straight to the fielder at the short mid-wicket. Zahid Ali on that occasion. He's just made use of the slowness of this wicket and utilize the spinners up front. Coming around the wicket now, Babar Iqbal. Trying to go big. Chance for the fielder. And Ehtisham makes no mistakes. Babar strikes, and it's the skipper who departs.
Well, skipper against skipper, and Babar will have the last laugh. Look at that. Wanted to hit it out of the ground, but no pace on offer. And he could only manage to find the fielder at long off. So success for Babar straight away in his first over. And half the side of CSS is back in the dugout on 49. Madhot, the new batter. And a good over from Babar comes to an end. Just 5 of it and a wicket at the halfway stage. CSS are struggling at 49 for 5.
Given a second over. After a fairly expensive first over, 11 conceded, considering the rest of the overs that have been bowled here by Karwan.
Well, Ranjit Mani playing against his natural instincts here. But he's got to do that for the next 10 overs at least if they are to see them over the line. Look at that. 9.9 runs an over required from here onwards. Would be an uphill task, but only Ranjit Mani will have to do it for them.
Well, very good leave. If you are coming in new to the crease, just trying to see what the wicket has to offer.
Well, slip in place now, especially after the leave. Good first delivery to bowl to a new batter.
Nice whip onto the onside. Rabin Krishna Madhot gets off the mark. 51 for 5. Who would have thought they would have been put in such tremendous pressure and onto the back foot. Some brilliant decisions coming in from Babar Iqbal. That's going to be wide. Yes, that will be turn and offer, but way beyond reach of the batter.
Just wanted to watch the batter until the very end. Pushed it flat and hard, but too wide on that occasion. Bowls it fuller on that occasion. Ranjit Mani looking to up the ante, can only manage to find inside half of the bat. Not a convincing single, but he'll take it.
Certainly not a convincing one there. It's 53 for 5. Can they get a boundary from somewhere in this over and continue to apply pressure onto Rahman? And looks like Furqan has got his man there. Very convinced after taking the bails off in a flash.
Look at that, referred upstairs. A very close call here. Just got to wait for the umpire's decision.
Some part of the foot needs to be behind the line, and I don't see anything.
Umpire just making sure if the bails were lifted in time, dislodged in time on that occasion, and the right decision prevails. Given out, stumped, very well bowled by Rahman Ghani on that occasion, taking the pace off, and the batter could only manage to drag his feet out of the crease. Very good job done by Furqan Khalil behind the stumps. That's the 6th wicket down for CSS on 52. Rabin Krishna, just one for him.
Off the mark. 11 gone, 54 for 6. Things don't look very convincing here for CSS. Well, that misfield will result in a single. Unable to stop that with his foot.
Well, Ranjit Mani has now got to take chances against a few bowlers. And I can sense that he might be taking chance against Babar Iqbal, who's a very smart operator and might end up picking up his wicket. So let's...
That slowness being offered there by Babar is just continuing to disturb the entire rhythm of the batters here. It's not easy, especially with the horizontal movement of the pitch also troubling the batters. Just can't play those free-flowing shots.
Yeah, and he's creating that angle coming from around the wicket as well. Certainly playing in batsman's mind. Look at that, pitching and moving away with that angle. So he's bowled so well so far in the right areas. Just 9, in fact 8 given of his first 10 deliveries, and picked up that important wicket of the captain, who was looking good initially.
And this is where Babar has been is an improved cricketer. With every season that passes on, learns from the mistakes and tries to improvise on it. Especially with the bowling changes, with the tactics, that area definitely has gone greener.
He's certainly improved over the past couple of seasons. Very well bowled and very well played in the end. Not much pace on offer, but he's generated some off the bat. Picks up a couple of runs to end that over number 12. CSS 60 for 6.
Levy has been trusted and will operate from the SCA end. It looks like becoming very difficult to bat on the surface with the slowness, even with the dew coming in. It's not getting any better for the batters here.
Played with soft hands, running for that quick single, and they'll make it comfortably. So these singles will not harm them. They need runs. They need to get runs from somewhere. And I think it's high time now that Ranjit starts to target one or two bowlers. See where it suits him the best from. Take those calculated chances.
He tried to cut loose and finally getting the big fish out of the way. Rahman Ghani strikes. That's his first scalp. And Furqan Khalil manages to hold on to it. A very decent catch. Luckily, the ball didn't pop out away from his reach. End of that resilience shown by Ranjit Mani. Walking back to the pavilion, scoring 24. 61 for 7. New man in is Yasir, coming in at number 9. Not the best of deliveries to a tail ender. 9 out of 10 times you'd expect an arm ball coming in. He tries to go big. He's connected well and will get a boundary.
Well, he had the invitation to go big with the mid-on up in the circle. And he's made a pretty decent connection to clear the fielder in the circle. Picks up his first boundary, gets off the mark in style with that one bounce 4 towards the long on region.
Nicely worked around. Will get a single. So this has been a very dominating performance here from Carwan Cricket Club. And not sure when did he see last that all the bowlers that have been used are spinners, right from ball number 1. It's 13 gone, 66 for 7.
Babar to continue his third over of the match. And he'll be looking to pick up a few wickets here. It's now time to introduce my co-commentator, Samir Yunus. Back.
Thank you, Adnan. It's been a slow burn, hasn't it, for CSS Group? Just haven't got the measure of the bowling or the pitch here. Carwan CC have read this to perfection. We haven't seen any fast bowlers. It's been completely spin dominated, and they've all picked up wickets here. Babar Iqbal flighting it and asking the batter to try and hit him if they can. Nipun and Yasir out there trying to salvage a bit of pride here, trying to bat the 20 overs. That should be on their mind.
Slowing it through the air, asking the batters to go big and all they can manage is just a single. So these singles are not really helping. What CSS need to make sure here is that they get close to the run rate. They get close to that target, as close as possible, so that it doesn't affect the run rate much, because it will all come down to that last match.
Down the wicket, he's gone downtown and he's cleared the fence quite easily, Yasir. He's certainly someone who can hit the ball a long way. Already 2 times now he's shown us. There might just be some life left in this game.
Well, a little too late in my opinion. How well has he connected that? To generate pace off the bat and to hit that over the side screen takes some doing. Umpire just checking, making sure that the ball is all right.
Yeah, we've seen throughout the day, with every passing innings, batting has become difficult and the pitch has really slowed down here. In the last few overs, we've seen how batters have found it extremely difficult to hit it, even just past a 30-yard circle, just like that. Do you think in hindsight, CSS would have been thinking maybe we should have batted first?
Well, I think they did pretty good job in the first innings. It's just the last couple of overs that went for few runs, which created belief in Carwan CC. And when they came out to bowl, we saw that belief turning into confidence. And then there was no turning back for them.
Just diving over that. And you're right, I think a total of 120 and a total of 145 creates a huge psychological difference to the team chasing it. There's always that added pressure of trying to go beyond runner ball. And in trying to do that, CSS have lost 7 wickets inside 14 overs. 76 for 7. He'll bowl out. He's picked up 2 wickets. Nipun has pushed that towards extra cover. They might come back for the second. The throw is on. It's quite a long boundary, so should be able to complete it quite comfortably. 68 required of 35. Can Nipun and Yasir create a bit of a miracle here for their team? Or is it too late?
Well, going at 5.4, they certainly need to up the run rate if they are to get close to that big total. Inside edge, trickling away towards the boundary, will be cut off. Just a single on that occasion. No pace offered whatsoever.
Yeah, I think the way Carwan CC went out there and batted, the batters would have come back and obviously given that feedback to their bowlers. That pace off is the way to go. Oh, opportunity missed there. A stumping opportunity. Furkan Khalil, who's kept so well so far, missed out on a straight one from Rahman Ghani.
Well, a rare miss. Usually he's very safe behind those stumps. Just not allowing the ball to come to him, instead going with the hard hands.
This is high. It's hit in a safe area. And in fact, it, I think, has gone all the way. Let's just have another look at that. Umpire Mujahid will inquire. No, he's given it a 4. A good shot. He's hit it in the gap. And they'll pick up another boundary.
Look at that shot. Didn't look like as if he's timed it pretty well, but enough on it to take it away from the fielder and one bounce boundary towards the long part of the ground. Goes for it again, but the arm ball has done him on that occasion. What a comeback from Ghani.
Yeah, nice and straight. Playing for the turn, Yasir looking to heave over the leg side, but it's gone through the gate. Not much choice when you're chasing at required rate of 12 runs per over. You have to look for those big shots, and Yasir has departed trying to do that. Nevertheless, a decent innings, a good strike rate, 17 of 9, a couple of 4s and a maximum in that, but he's bowled by Rahman Ghani, who's picked up his 3rd wicket. 8 wickets down now, CSS Group in danger of getting bowled out here, 83 for 8. Slowed it down, guided towards third man, and a superb spell from Ghani comes to an end. 3 for 30 in his 4 overs, and at the end of 15, CSS Group are going nowhere. 83 for 8. CSS nowhere close to that target come these last 5 overs. A nice little forward defense. Fun calling a game like this at 2:15 a.m. in the night, Adnan.
It does get difficult.
I like your brutal honesty. Stayed low that one, got the under edge. Will be another single. So really going nowhere. CSS Group now, it's just a matter of time. Just going through the formalities.
Yeah, so far so good from Babar. Picked up that important wicket of the captain. Might end up with a few more. Look at that. This is skied up in the air, long on getting underneath it, and Hamid Khan will not drop those. Second wicket for Babar. Make that 504.
Well, such a difficult thing to do as a batter when you're offered nothing at all from the bowler. You've got to create all that power, generate all that power behind the shot. Especially being a low order batter, it's not easy. Umar looking to go big, has to go back into the heart. The 9th wicket falls for CSS. Umar goes for a duck, doesn't trouble the scorers. It's 85 for 9. But now he's out there to complete the formalities as the field comes in now. Babar with 2 wickets to himself is looking to get 1 more to his name and close out this game. Another dominant and comprehensive performance from Carwan CC on a sticky wicket here in Sharjah. Nice and full. Will be another dot ball. 2 slips in place for that outside edge. Because he's not offering any pace at all, I'm not sure if it's going to carry there. Now the mid-on also comes up into the circle in case he decides to play that big shot. The result is inevitable. The process is long. It's going through the formalities here are the 2 teams. CSS have resigned to their fate. Good show with the ball, but not so good with the bat in hand. Push that to mid-off rather. We'll get off the mark, Ravindran. And at the end of 16, it's 86 for 9. finally gets a chance to bowl, and he's pleading from the umpire, let me have a wicket to my name in this game. But he will be denied. He wants to have that early pre-dawn meal for Ramadan. Yeah, pitching outside leg, he's never going to get that one. Bowling with a short run up here, looking to close things off quite early. Nicely behind that, they set off for the single. A throw at the non-striker's end, direct hit might have been interesting, but it will be a single added to the total. 87 for 9 now, just playing for that margin here, trying to get as close as possible, not affect the run rate too much. However, it still seems to be a heavy defeat for CSS. Heaved towards mid-wicket. And despite that effort from the fielder, it will trickle away to the boundary. So into the 90s are CSS. 91 for 9 now. Zahid Ali must be thinking to himself, why am I spoiling my figures? There was no need for me to bowl. Babar Iqbal seems to have run out of spinners, so he has to bowl Zahid Ali here. This is high, and the fielders all up in the circle, so this will go safely all the way, in fact, for a maximum. So Nipun Babu is having a bit of fun here. 49 required of 20. He seems to have not given up. Now, long on, long off stationed down at the boundary line. And this has taken an edge and gone behind the keeper. Another boundary. Oh, Zahid Ali. He must be already quite upset that he is bowling so late. And now that he's finally come to bowl, he's conceded 15 runs in this over already. 100 comes up with that boundary for CSS Group. So some positivity for them in these dying stages of the game. This is over covers. This has also been hit quite nicely. Bit of an anti-climax this for Carwan CC. Conceding 19 runs in the 17th over. CSS are still far away from that target, which is 1 wicket in hand. 41 required of 18 balls. Babar Iqbal, probably the first wrong call this evening. 105 for 9. Eighteenth over in progress. It will be Yusuf to bowl because Carwan CC were going with spinners right from ball number 1. 16 overs of spin, and finally they have no choice but to unleash the fast bowlers. Zahid Ali going for 19 runs in his first over. Now Yusuf starting off with a single. Over the wicket to the right-hander. Stuck him on the pad, but will going down the leg side, so won't be given anything. $105 for 9 is where CSS Group are. 1 wicket away from a heavy defeat in this group stage game. Carwan CC seem to be on course, maintaining their unbeaten record here in the group stages. They will obviously qualify to the Cup semi-finals, taking on the second ranked team from another group, probably Group A. That should certainly make for interesting contests coming up in the knockout stages of this tournament. It's been entertaining, this Ramadan League here at Sharjah. Slower delivery, pushed through the off. Another single added to the total. So just delaying the inevitable here are CSS batters. They know this game is beyond their reach. This partnership now 21 runs, probably the biggest in this innings, thanks to that heavy, expensive previous over from Zahid Ali, 19 off it. Outside off, flirting with that one. Unable to get any bat onto it. 106 for 9 now. Nipun is on 30. Pun Babu, the left-arm spinner, who bowled extremely well for CSS Group. He's been standout batter for them as well. Going at the stumps on that occasion, Yusuf. And it will be negotiated with quite comfortably. 18 overs done, so 106 for 9. Will go to Rohan Mustafa. And finally, CSS Group get bowled out with 107 runs on the board, far off from the target of 146 set by Carwan CC. They won the toss, but that seems to be the only thing they'll win today, CSS. Because after having bowled first and conceding 145, they would have thought that they've done a good job with the ball. But this is what Carwan CC are so good at. They will squeeze you out, because they've got a good set of bowlers as well, defending that 145, making use of the conditions, starting off with spin and bowling 16 overs of spin. And every spinner that was in operation did pick up wickets, and that at regular intervals, ensuring that CSS Group never really looked comfortable in this chase. A low scorer, but a one-sided one it turned out to be for the men in black and yellow. Carwan CC establishing their dominance once again in another tournament here in Sharjah. Won 3 out of 3 in their group stage matches. They'll go on to qualify for the semi-finals of the cup stage of this Ramadan T20 League at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium, the 35th edition. "24 runs to Ranjit Mani at the top." They would have hoped that he does go on. Zohaib fell cheaply early on, and then the rest of the batters, that middle order, all of them in single digits: Albin, Srinath, Rojit, Madhot, none of them being able to contribute. Unfortunately for CSS Group, the spinners took complete charge here. Just didn't allow the batters to get going. Just 3 extras bowled by Carwan CC. That tells you of the discipline with which they've gone about things here. Not much to talk about in terms of the batting of CSS Group, except Nipun, who towards the end was looking to have a bit of fun. Got 19 runs off that Zahid Ali over, that one over that Zahid Ali did bowl. As for Carwan CC's bowlers, well, they were brilliant. Started off with spin, and the first 4 bowlers, Awais Ali, Rohan Mustafa, Ghani and Babar, all of them picking up wickets between themselves. 3 to Rohan Mustafa, 3 to Rahman Ghani, and 1 to Awais Ali, who opened the proceedings. And Babar Iqbal himself, the skipper, picking up 2 wickets, giving away just 23 runs. Zahid Ali with that one expensive over, but otherwise it's been a comprehensive bowling performance by Carwan CC in match number 20 of the Ramadan League here in Sharjah. So CSS Group, after winning the toss, putting Carwan CC in to make use of the wicket. Carwan CC managing 145 for 6, a good innings in the context of the match by Zahid Ali, 37 of 36 for him. Aftab Alam making 27 of 19. In fact, that was Mozam Hayat, who made 21 of 32. And Ranjit Mani with a couple of wickets. So did Yasir get 2 for 33. The tall fast bowler. In reply, CSS Group getting bundled out for 107 inside the 19th over. Nipun making 30. Ron Mustafa and Ghani, 3 wickets apiece for both of them. So Karwan Cricket Club win this game by 38 runs and stay on top of this group. We'll take a breather, and when we are back, it will be Adnan Arif with the post-match presentation.
Hello and welcome to the post-match presentation of the 35th Sharjah Ramadan T20 League 2024 powered by FanCode. Before we begin, firstly I'd like to thank Sharjah Cricket and all the administrators involved behind the scenes for putting up such a wonderful tournament. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, title sponsor Royal Phoenix Clinic, powered by sponsor and official streaming partner FanCode, event partner TCM, associate sponsor Tamar Al Madina Real Estate, support sponsor 7 districts. Well, in match number 20 of the tournament, Carwan CC has just defeated CSS Group by comfortable 38 runs. Moving ahead, we'll be awarding the man of the match memento, and it will be presented by Mr. Tehseen Javed, who is also the match referee. Well, few commendable performances from Karwan, but in the end, it was the standout performance with the ball. And it goes to none other than Rohan Mustafa from Carwan CC for his brilliant 3 wickets in 4 overs, giving away just 13 runs. What a brilliant spell of spin bowling that is, with the new ball, outside the power play, inside the power play. Rohan, first of all, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Of course, Alhamdulillah, it was a good performance. I did well in that, and I think when you get opportunity in some time bowling, so Alhamdulillah, I did it for my team.
Right. We can't just keep you away from the game, can't we?
Yes, of course. As I said before, people should consider me as an all-rounder, and what I do is, of course, I do with the bowling, and it's when need in the field, I do as well, and Alhamdulillah, Allah is giving me.
Well done, staying down to the ground. Well, at the halfway stage, not enough runs on the board. What was the discussion in the dugout?
Honestly, I was just saying if we score about 135, 140, it will be a good total, because wicket was not that much easy. As you saw, it was turning, and then I said quite few times the ball gets softer. It's quite hard to hit out of the ground, and when you lose wicket at that time, between that time, so it's very hard for the new batsman to score, and that's what happened. As you know, Babar Bhai ball really slow, which is very hard to hit on this wicket, and as you know, he's getting wickets. So I think if we score about 135, 40, we need to just bowl well in the power play, which we did, me and Awais, and I think it was quite difficult after the power play.
Well, brilliant bowling performance. Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you very much.
That was Rohan Mustafa from Carwan CC winning the man of the match. Thank you for joining us tonight. Before we sign off, a reminder for tomorrow's upcoming games. There are 2 games lined up for you next. To catch on all the excitement, tune into our official streaming platform, FanCode app, and on Sharjah Cricket's Facebook and Sports Eye YouTube pages. This is it from the post-match presentation. Good night and God bless.